What's up, tactical gamers? Timmy Tenders here, back with another tactical gaming review. This week, looking at 6 Days in Fallujah. Now, this game's had a lot of hype around it recently, for good reason. It's quite a good game. However, is it worth its current price tag? And are you thinking about getting it? Well, let's do a more detailed breakdown. Just before we crack on with this, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me on this new content creation journey, helps me keep putting out content. And more importantly, drop a comment on what games you want to see reviewed, and that way I can give you my opinion and hopefully save you some dollars if it's a shit game. So without further ado, let's get it. So before we go ahead and dive into 6 Days in Fallujah, I just wanted to discuss a bit of the historical context surrounding this game. It's centered around the Second Battle of Fallujah in 2004 during the Iraq War, and the developers have really aimed to create an authentic representation of this event. They've added cutscenes where people that actually served in this battle are speaking, and it really sets the scene for a story rather than just going in there to shoot people. And I really like that aspect. It's pretty awesome to actually hear some of the cutscenes and read some of their quotes. So it was a good aspect to the game that sets you up for a really immersive game. All right, let's talk about how you're going to dive into 6 Days in Fallujah. Let's just say it's like being dropped into a pretty crazy war zone. You're going to be running through these streets that look pretty much like the real deal. The buildings are blown out to bits and there's debris everywhere. This ain't your usual run-of-the-mill shooter. It's all about making smart moves, thinking on your feet, and teaming up with your squad. Because let me tell you, I tried to play solo and fuck me, did not enjoy the game. It was near impossible. The places you're going to be fighting ain't the same every time, which is probably the most appealing part of this game, is every time you die, the whole level changes. Buildings are in different spots, AI are in different locations, there's more, there's less, it changes every time, which means every mission you do is just as hard as the first time you tried to do it, which is good in a way, but at the same time, you know, not everyone has a full squad to play with, so it makes it pretty hard. Weapons look real. I have a couple of gripes with weapon choices though that we'll touch on a bit later in the what I think they should fix. But in a nutshell, gameplay is about as intense and as realistic as it gets. Just get ready to strategize, get ready to clear rooms properly, and get ready to have a squad because it's going to take quite a few of you working together to get through it. So, almost always one of the most important aspects is how does the game look? 6 Days in Fallujah is like stepping into a war movie. The graphics are pretty immersive. The streets are messed up, the buildings are half blown away. I can only imagine this is what it looked like in the Battle of Fallujah. Every detail is there. Walls with bullet holes, broken windows, everything just looking rough. You'll just notice the little things that they've got right. Characters look pretty legit, weapons look good. Their movements can be a little janky at times. You can turn it off, but I didn't like the auto peek. I feel like sometimes it just clips through walls, and there were some things that could be improved on. The whole day-night thing, when it's a night raid, is amazing for the immersive feel. It looks fucking unreal. Rain, wind, sandstorms, it all looks good. Very comparable to Ready or Not, which is the game that I've really been comparing this to, as it's a very similar, realistic milsim / SWAT sim. So basically, 6 Days in Fallujah, it rates pretty highly in the graphical department. Alright, the sounds in 6 Days in Fallujah. So the sounds they have got right. The sounds make it feel so real, with guns popping off, explosions rocking the place. It's like you're in the thick of shit. Gunfire, it's not just random bangs. You can tell where it's coming from with that spatial audio and how far away, if it's close, if it's really far away. Bullets whizzing past your ears when there's sniper fire. Yep, they've got that covered too. It's pretty fucking epic. The environment, rain pouring down, wind blowing and sandstorms, just all the sounds really make this game super immersive. One of my favorite things is the way the characters talk to each other. Just everything about it is identical to how a soldier speaks. From experience, the way they swear, the way they talk, the way they fucking yeehaw. It's all really, really real, and I love that aspect of it. And now, the most important part. What's wrong with 6 Days in Fallujah? Well, my biggest gripes are the fact that you can't PvP. And it's the same as Ready or Not, and it was my biggest gripe with Ready or Not. I like the competitive PvP aspect of all games. That's why I'm a big Tarkov player. It's probably my favorite game at the moment. I'd like them to introduce a PvP aspect. I don't know if they will. They haven't set any plans or in the roadmap to bring in PvP. Another big one for me is weapon choice. I know they've gone for the realism aspect of this game, but you don't have a weapon choice. You have to have what that squad would carry, which is all good for the immersive realism, but it wears thin on me when you get stuck as the shotgunner and you have no range. I'd like to be able to pick my weapon, so that was pretty frustrating for me. At least in Ready or Not, you can pick whatever gun you want, and you can kit out the team that you see fit for that raid. Also, lobby wait times is a big thing for me, probably because I'm in Australia. There might not be that many people with this game yet, but I always found matchmaking taking forever, and when I did matchmake, it was generally on an Asian server, and I couldn't understand what they were saying, so we really couldn't be that tactical. I also think the way you die could have been done a bit better. I mean, once you get shot, I absolutely love the fact that you get incapacitated, and it gives your squad member an opportunity to help you. If you don't, you die, and then all you get is just a blue screen. Like, there's no real death animation, and I think if you're trying that realism aspect of things, it shouldn't just go to a blue screen. I mean, half the time I just thought my computer was crashing. So that's all we have for the review on 6 days in Fallujah. Just a quick one. We attempted to answer the question, is it worth the money? I would say I give this a 6.5 out of 10 tenders. And that means I would probably save your money at this stage. More updates to come. It will get better. But for me, I'd prefer to play Ready or Not. I just think there's a little more you can do, and you got more control over your squad in Ready or Not. So that's all we have time for. If you like the video and I saved you some money, hit subscribe and drop a comment down below on what game you think I should attack next. Thanks, guys. Peace.